Get out my business. Nani? Okay.
Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Heero. That's Eric, and we come together and debate for fun. And we do that with you guys, the Identifiers. We appreciate you being here. We are always looking for a way to kind of better our situation in the grand scheme of things. Like, what does it mean for law enforcement in the black community? What does it mean for women's right in the community? What does it mean for how men are perceived in today's day and age, and what does it mean to be a man, and things of that nature? Like, we discuss those things, but often we find ourselves dealing with situations where it's just not right. And once again, the law not being able to answer for the reason why it's not right isn't an excuse for us not to make it right. So we have a situation in Minnesota where and you'll get the details in the news article. A woman was sexually assaulted. She got hit with she was raped, and her
told you about that word. You can't use that word on YouTube.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like if we can't talk about it, then I why cover it? Like for me, I like
because we want to cover it, but YouTube doesn't like when you use that word. We've had lesser videos flagged for.
But guess what? For watch it right now. I've already liked and shared it and comment on the video below. So that's going to help it boost the algorithm. You guys can defeat the algorithm with us. But ultimately, she did suffer consequences of a person doing a horrendous act to her. And that person was convicted and appealed his charge. And now the Supreme Court has reversed that charge. So let's just get a deep dive into what's going on and understand it better with this story.
A Supreme Court ruling this week is prompting an outcry from victims and victim advocates of sexual assault and helping to move along a bill in the legislature that would update the state's laws on what it means to be mentally incapacitated. Our Sarah Danik is live tonight in St. Paul with that story. Sarah.
Yeah, BC, we spoke today to a victim of rape who says this really feels like victim shaming. But she says some updated legislation being discussed here at the Capitol is a step in the right direction.
Frustration, disappointment, and also not shocked at all.
As a lawyer, Megan Curtis wasn't surprised by a ruling earlier this week by the Minnesota Supreme Court.
Their job is to enforce the law as the legislature writes it, and when something is seen as ambiguous, it makes it hard for the courts, and they don't want to overstep their role.
But as a victim of rape herself, she's devastated for the victim.
Women should be allowed to drink and become intoxicated and not feel as though they're going to be raped. I mean, it just shouldn't happen at all.
What the state's highest court ruled on Wednesday is this. The definition of mentally incapacitated does not include a person who becomes drunk after voluntarily consuming alcohol or drugs. The decision reverses a 2019 rape conviction and orders a new trial for the man convicted of raping a woman in Hennepin County while she was drunk.
I'm hopeful that, especially in light of the Supreme Court decision that came out, people realize the sense of urgency that we have with this needing to pass this bill.
It's a loophole in the state's criminal sexual conduct statute that Representative Kelly Mueller has been working to change. She introduced legislation earlier this year in the House that's had bipartisan support.
Our legislation would provide the tools in the toolbox that a prosecutor needs to be able to charge a case when a defendant knows or has reason to know that the victim is intoxicated to the degree that she's incapable of consenting.
Megan says she'll be pushing her legislators to act and hope others do too.
Ask them to vote this bill through, and make this change so that this doesn't happen again to another victim.
And that House bill now moves.
All right. So, based off of that, Eric, what's your thoughts on this?
I have so many emotions. The obvious one is, why would the Supreme Court overturn this? That's really out of pocket, first. And if it does, second, the real thing that I want to bring out is any man. So we talk about a man because a man committed a crime. Any man that's capable of penetrating an incapacitated woman is capable of more. Ladies, you got, as best as you can in every situation, but as best as you can, you got to be assessing these jokers straight up. Like, it's some freaking weirdos out here. And that was like one of the thoughts that came in my mind. Like, this guy was insane enough to violate you in the second highest way that a human being can violate another human being. The first being to just straight up end your life. Unfortunately, this guy is obviously insane, but not that insane. But he could have been. If at all possible, protect yourself. Don't put yourself, if you can, in situations. On the flip side, though, what the attorney said, yes, a woman should be able to go out and get intoxicated if she wants to. She can. Unfortunately, though, this person was a freaking scumbag. So what do? You go to the court. You can't trust the court to uphold an obvious conviction, so much so that it went to the Supreme Court of the state. Like,
yes, it's just
me and Heero talked about this earlier. See, I did not read the article. I did not look at any of this stuff. I had earlier, me and Heero got into a very, very, very heated discussion, and me talking out of the side of my neck, not having all the information. My feelings are a little bit different after watching the video, but I'm still gonna say you got to protect yourself. And this guy could have done worse, would have done worse. And from Heero's recollection of the story to me, he went and picked her up. The fact that he didn't have enough wherewithal to say, hey, nah, man, she's a little faded. You know what? Hey, maybe we should get together at a time when you're not intoxicated. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, he could have his lack of judgment in the situation, knowing in a hashtag, whatever you want to put, in 2021, you can't do that. Like, you shouldn't do it at all. But the fact that it's in your mind, yeah. I mean, I don't know. This whole situation has me blown.
It's a question of like a lot of people are trying to in the court case. The conversation was trying to be drawn up as a question of consent, and I often tell people, she could be sending you nips and camel toe and pics all night. She could come through the door. She could be agreeing, saying yes, could be saying yes, and as she's taking off her drawers, she passes out. Like, that's the end of consent. When someone is not conscious enough to,
she should have never been in his house. She should have never been in his car.
I mean,
never been in his house.
Even besides her being in the house, the fact is, as a man, you have to have the wherewithal to know that this is not consent. So there is no matter. She could have fell out of the sky and landed in his house. Like, that's still not a reason for it. I'm just saying
it was his responsibility to recognize, okay, she's not in a good state. You know what? Let me not do that. Because today, you don't actually even really need proof for your life to be ruined. You just need an accusation.
Ask Deshaun Watson.
I'm saying, so this is the mindset, dudes. If you out here, if you got any kind of inklings like that, your urge to splooge should not be greater than your ability to protect yourself and see it from a 3-dimensional picture and say, hey, you know what? This isn't the best. And you need to ask yourself, okay, has she had a drink? Okay, that's it. That's done. If she's at the point where she's passed out, she's probably giving plenty of signs that she is not in a state where she can make a conscious decision to engage in intercourse with you. So I don't know, man. It's
the law is that's still someone's property, and if you stick your hand in there to steal it, that's theft. If you broke the window,
Oh, we don't yeah, we don't disagree with that.
I'm talking about Twisted Texas. He said, "Is it?"
He's saying if he's agreeing with us. If you leave a bag of money and a Rolex on your car seat, leave the windows down. Is it your fault or the person who takes the stuff fault? He's more to the point. It's the person who takes the stuff. Absolutely.
No, definitely. And then, like, ultimately, what the thing
my
that's
ultimate message is: men and women in dating, protect yourselves at all times if you can. There are some creeps out here.
Yeah, it like that. Ultimately, the world is full of crazy people, and you want to hope that people are gonna stand up and do the right thing. Not everyone's gonna be as stand up as me and Eric are. You know,
I'm not as stand up as Heero. I'm gonna admit that. I'm not as stand up as Heero. He's laughing because we have a little inside joke here, but yeah, I'm definitely not as stand up as Heero.
The things that will qualify your actions in the heat of the moment, it really dictates the type of person you are. So, like, you know, just be comfortable enough to have these conversations and always think of safety. Like, don't think of the variables, think of the here and now and things like that. But, you know, ultimately, you know, that's our perspective on it. Shoot, it could happen to anybody, anytime, anywhere. Just, you know, have these conversations. Make yourself available for people to have these conversations with you. I know a lot of people like to put the whole locker room conversation out on people, and that's cool. But, like, there's also a group of men out there who will have a stand-up conversation with some dudes like, yo, that's not cool. That's not funny. Same thing needs to go in place for, you know, women. When they see their friend has had one too much, maybe you shouldn't go out with that person. Maybe you should just go home. It's not to say that that's right. It's to say that this is the world we live in on. We have to protect each other. So with that being said, Eric, where can they find us?
Right here on YouTube. You better come find us on YouTube. And you also better letting other people find us on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
350, man. I'm so happy about that shit. 350.
And it's crazy because when we made this goal, I don't even think we were at 200 when we made this goal of 1,000. So, I mean, that's our goal for ourselves for the year. And our other goal is to raise $10,000 for a charity of our choice, which we're well on the way to do. So if you got it down in your heart to help the kid, make sure you go hit that link for the Endurance 24. Go on over there, help them out, man. Show them, tell them the Identity Booth sent you. Make sure you drop something in the bucket. Yeah, man. But
now,
other than that, you can find... Yeah, she ready, man. They can find us. So find us here on YouTube. Shout out to our 2 people always thugging it out with us on Twitch. Shout out to our Facebook people. I know it's not pulling up on the screen, but we know you in here, so I appreciate y'all. We got 7 people watching on YouTube. We got 7 likes. We greatly appreciate that. If you're over on Facebook, make sure you like this, share this. If you're over on Twitch, if you got the ability to share, hey, man, we greatly appreciate that. So that is it.
All right, guys. While I get off y'all set up,
Eric, slow it down and we can catch the vibes. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on the line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.